In 2018, I was the victim of an attack fueled by hate and division, a painful reminder of how extremism can tear apart the social fabric of any society. Yet this incident reinforced my resolve to address extremism at its roots: inequality, marginalization, and ignorance. I realized that sustainable peace cannot rely solely on security measures. It must be built on the foundations of empathy, equity, and opportunity. Peace and development are inseparable. Global studies consistently show that countries ranking higher on indices of peace also outperform others economically. For instance, the Global Peace Index 2023 highlights that countries in the top quartile for peace experience economic growth rates 2% higher than less peaceful nations. In Pakistan, addressing inequalities is key to achieving this balance. Despite progress, challenges persist. Women's workforce participation remains low at just 22 to 23% compared to more than 48% globally. Gender disparities cost Pakistan an estimated 30% of GDP annually, according to the World Bank. Only 1.4% of police personnel in Pakistan are women, far below international standards. These statistics underscore the urgency of programs like PASS, which aim to close these gaps and promote inclusive development. My own assessment is in 10 years' time, we are going to see a paradigm shift because the potential and the talent of our girls is far outperforming boys in our society. In my district, the University of Narwal has 7,000 students. Out of those 7,000, 5,000 are girls. We distributed 1,400 laptops to students on merit after their high school. And out of those 1,400 laptops, 1,100 were won by girls. So I tell the boys that when I was growing up in my age, the most common occupation of women was housewife. And I fear for you that in 10 to 20 years, your occupation is going to be house husband. So therefore, you guys ought to wake up and try to catch up. The girls are going far ahead of you. So, and we are seeing that change in the new batches of police officers and civil servants who are coming into academy. Mashallah, good number of female officers are now getting inducted. Pakistan's development agenda is centered on the 5 E's framework: exports, e-Pakistan, environment, energy and infrastructure, and equity and empowerment. Equity and empowerment lies at the heart of our vision, focusing on inclusive growth through targeted interventions. Our efforts include integrating gender-responsive budgeting into development planning, increasing investments in underserved regions, and prioritizing marginalized groups such as women and youth. These initiatives align with our broader commitment to increasing gender representation in frontline services like law enforcement, ensuring that institutions reflect the communities they serve. As Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah said, "No nation can rise to the height of glory unless your women are side by side with you." His words remain as relevant today as ever, reminding us that gender equality is not just a moral imperative, but an essential driver of progress. Empowering women is not just about equality, it is an economic necessity. According to McKinsey, bridging the gender gap in Pakistan could add $35 billion to our economy in next few years. At Ministry of Planning, Development and Special Initiatives, we have already taken steps to lead by example. A state-of-the-art child care center supports working parents, enabling more women to contribute to the workforce. Our flagship Young Development Fellows program ensures gender balance, rather heavily tilted towards female YDFs, empowering women to shape national policy. The National Commission on Status of Women is now directly funded to execute transformative projects focused on women's empowerment. At the policy level, our gender unit ensures that all development projects are assessed through a gender lens, guaranteeing equitable access to resources and services for women across Pakistan. Representation of women in frontline services such as police force is critical for effective service delivery and public trust. Evidence shows that gender-diverse police forces are better at conflict resolution and community engagement. However, in Pakistan, as I said, only 1.4% of police officers are women, a figure that we must work to change. To address this, we are implementing initiatives such as gender quotas in police recruitment, child care facilities to support working mothers, mentorship programs to enable career progression for women in law enforcement. These steps, supported by international partners like INL and USIP, will create safer and more inclusive communities across Pakistan. The partnership between Pakistan and the United States has been a cornerstone of transformative development. From the Green Revolution of the 60s to today's initiatives in education, governance, and gender equity, this collaboration continues to yield results. Programs like US-Pakistan Knowledge Corridor and INL-led reforms in law enforcement have not only advanced gender inclusion but also strengthened institutions. By improving recruitment and training for women in policing, these initiatives serve as a model for fostering equity in other sectors. This partnership has shown us the power of shared values in driving systematic change. Together, we can envision a Green Revolution 2.0, a revolution that extends beyond food security to equitable opportunities across all sectors. As we look to the future, our strategy must be bold, evidence-driven, and inclusive. Our key priorities include institutionalizing gender-responsive governance, gender audits, and gender-sensitive indicators across all public institutions, diversifying frontline services, increasing representation of women and marginalized groups in law enforcement, healthcare, and education, equity-focused infrastructure development, designing public infrastructure to meet the needs of underserved groups such as women and persons with disabilities, leveraging technology, expanding digital literacy and access to IT hubs for women and rural populations, integrating peace building into development, establishing provincial peace and development units to bridge social and economic gaps, climate resilient growth, promoting women-led initiatives in agriculture and climate adaptation for greater resilience. Ladies and gentlemen, as Martin Luther King Jr. aptly said, we may have all come on different ships, but we are in the same boat now. Let us pledge to make the Paspan Awam Saath Saath program a beacon of equity and inclusion. Today we can transform these challenges into opportunities and lay the foundation for a peaceful, prosperous, and resilient Pakistan. Long live US-Pakistan friendship. Thank you very much.
वज़ीर मनसूबबंदी अहसन इकबाल का इस्लामाबाद में तकरीब से खिताब जारी था। उनकी जानिब से कहा गया कि पुरअमन मुआशरे के लिए पुलिस का किरदार इंतहाई अहम है। पुलिस को जदीद खतूत पर इस्तेमाल करना ज़रूरी है। अमन और तरक्की का आपस में गहरा ताल्लुक है। एक